the questions that today we will discuss. All right. Today we are going to solve some questions on plant physiology that is from the photosynthesis. Okay. The question number 1. এগুলো পেনগুলো দিয়ে যাও। The question number 1 is related to some basic experiment that was carried out by some of the earlier physiologists. Okay, here I think have you solved it? That's performed an elegant experiment with the plan to show that in bright light small bubbles were found around the earth, while in dark they do not. So here there are three blank spaces we have to fill up, and this is actually that Indian house. That option question number 1 is answer is option A. Okay, option A is our answer, and it is read like that Indian house performed an elegant experiment with an aquatic plant to show that in the bright sunlight small bubbles were found around the green part, while in dark they do not. Okay, so here it is that actually Indian house carry forward the experiment carried out by another physiologist and chemist Priestley. Okay, who initially carried out an experiment with a bilger, a green plant, and mouse, and a burning candle. And Priestley, who is famous for the discovery of oxygen, he carried out that experiment, and he told that the green plant can restore the foul air which is produced by the burning candle and the breathing animals. So the same experiment was that carried out by Indian house, but here what he did, that he kept the whole set of experiment in the light as well as in dark, and then he found that only in presence of light that the green plant has the capacity to restore the foul air. Okay, so it is light is essential for the process by which the plant can restore the foul, clean the foul gases. All right. So what he did, and later on that also there were some air bubbles were coming out from that experiment when it was plants were kept in presence under the sunlight. Then later on it was proved that those air bubbles were nothing else but the oxygen. So the plant can produce oxygen, and by that way the the foul air can be cured or purified. So our answer is that is A, Indian house, aquatic plant, and green part of the plant. So as we know that photosynthesis, which purify the air, that photosynthesis takes place in presence of light. Next one, of course, the second question. Second question is another experiment that was carried out by a physiologist named that T.W. Enzelman. T.W. Enzelman. Okay. He carried out experiments taking the green filamentous algae and that green filamentous algae was Cladophora. And he took that Arabic bacteria, the suspension of Arabic bacteria, and in the suspension of Arabic bacteria, he sends the light of different colors. So use the prism and that light spectrum. A spectrum were flashed on the suspension of Arabic bacteria in which that Cladophora plant was also there. Say in a beaker there is suspension of bacteria and the Cladophora plant, the green algae, and with a prism, using a prism, the light, white light was that was splitted. So a prism was used to split the white light, and that was given to the green algae, which also contained in the suspension of Arabic bacteria. And here what he found, that these are Arabic bacteria, they require oxygen for their respiration. And it was, after some time, it was observed that the bacteria were gathering, bacteria were concentrating on the two portion mainly where there was blue color light and there was red and blue light was there. So from here, the Enzelman concluded that this plant process which produce oxygen, that is more in the red zone and blue zone. That is, the red and the blue wavelength of the light is more effective for photosynthesis. And this thing, that the effect of light spectra or different wavelength of light effect of different wavelengths of light on the rate of photosynthesis is known as the action spectrum. Action spectrum of photosynthesis. That is the effect of different light. At which light photosynthesis is more. This is these lights are absorbed by the photosynthetic pigment. So, and another thing that the photosynthetic pigment, okay, pigment absorb light energy. And whether the photosynthetic pigment, the chlorophyll molecule and its accessory molecules, so they absorb light energy of all the wavelengths at the similar efficiency. This is that a curve when we make graph and observe that which wavelength of light is absorbed more, then that is known as absorption spectrum. That is the graph or the curve showing the rate of absorption, showing absorption of light wavelength. That is the absorption spectrum, and where the photosynthesis is carried out more, that is the action spectrum. So it was the Engelmann, by a simple experiment, he could show that in the red and blue region of the light, the photosynthesis is more. So this was the first that the action spectrum of the photosynthesis were prepared. And we can also see that the light above photosynthesis is more on the red and blue region of the light. So there he used so except what in this question he used cladophora, he used aerobic bacteria, and also used a prism to split the light in its component. Okay, the only thing he didn't use the chlorella. Chlorella was not used. So in this question, our answer is B. Okay, that is except unicellular green algae chlorella, he used all these. Chlorella actually was used by the Calvin. Okay, Kelvin and Benson for determining the carbon dioxide reduction, that is the Kelvin cycle or the carbon dioxide reduction into carbohydrate. Carbon dioxide to carbohydrate. So this was used by chlorella was used. Chlorella also was used by that chlorella also used for the determination of that evolution of oxygen. Evolution of oxygen in photosynthesis. This was used by Rubin and his associates. They used the chlorella and radioactive heavy isotope of oxygen in the water, and by that they proved experimentally that what the oxygen evolution in the photosynthesis actually comes from water, not from the carbon dioxide. Question number 3. The methodology which has been most useful for investigating the Kelvin cycle is, the answer is question number 3. Answer is option A, that is radioactive isotope technique. Radioactive isotope technique was used in the, this was mainly used by that Kelvin. Kelvin, he supplied the chlorella to chlorella the heavy isotope, the carbon dioxide which has the carbon is heavy, radioactive, that carbon, heavy carbon isotope that was used, the carbon dioxide was supplied to the chlorella for carrying out photosynthesis, but that carbon dioxide contains carbon which is heavy isotope. Okay, and after that, this carbon went to different compounds during the process of carbohydrate synthesis. So, and time to time, those compounds were extracted and they were tested for the presence of radioactivity or heavy isotope of carbon in those compounds. And in this way, the Kelvin, Benson and his associates, they determine the different intermediate states in the formation of the carbohydrate from carbon dioxide. This was, so this method was called, that is the radioactive isotope technique, and also he used that chromatography. Okay? This paper chromatography. In this, he used double two-dimensional paper chromatography. Paper chromatography is a method by which from a solution, from a mixture of different compounds, the certain compound or the mixture of compound, they can be separated based on their molecular weight, size, shape, and their, okay. So paper chromatography was used, and the radioactivity, the radioactive isotope techniques were used. This similar method, this radioactive isotope technique was used by, as I told, that he used Reuben. Reuben also supplied this chlorella with that water supplied to chlorella, and this in this water the oxygen was given heavy isotope, that is oxygen 18 was supplied, and from here it was determined that the oxygen evolved in the photosynthesis, that is coming from the water, not from carbon dioxide. Actually, when the oxygen, heavy oxygen was used in the water, then the oxygen evolved was having heavy. Okay, but if this oxygen, when the carbon dioxide contained the heavy isotope of oxygen, then it was the oxygen evolved was not that heavy oxygen. Okay, so this was a very important experiment. So radioactivity is also used in the different types of experiments. So our answer is A. Now come to question number 4. Question number 4. Question number 4. The PS1. PS1, that is PS stands for photosystem or pigment system. Okay, it is pigment system. All right. So there are two different pigment systems. We know one is pigment system 1 and another one is pigment system 2. In the pigment system, what happened there is, these pigment systems are made of different photosynthetic pigments, the chlorophyll molecules and also the carotenoids. Chlorophylls and carotenoids. Chlorophyll, mainly chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B, and carotene, xanthophyll are also there. So in this pigment system, every pigment system, they have a reaction center. A reaction center and another one is antenna molecule. Or these are the light harvesting molecules, Sometimes we call this also light harvesting complex, LHC. This reaction center is made of a special type of chlorophyll A molecule, a special type of chlorophyll A molecule associated with certain protein. This forms the reaction center. The antenna molecule absorbs light energy at different wavelength, and that energy is passed to the reaction center. And then the reaction center carry out the photochemical reaction of light reaction, or photochemical reaction of the photosynthesis. We can say of photosynthesis. Okay, this reaction center in PS1 and PS2 are different. That is, the chlorophyll molecule, chlorophyll A molecule present in the reaction center of PS1 and PS2 are different. Different on the basis of their absorption capacity characteristic, that which wavelength of light they absorb. The PS1 absorb light energy at or below 700 nm. Okay, at or below 700 nm. So our answer is question number 4. Answer is that B 700 and less than 700 nm of light. Okay, so 7 at or below 700 nm. This is the PS1. And the similar way, the question can be asked for the PS2. The PS2 has the characteristic absorption maxima is at 680 nm. So the PS2 absorb light energy at 680 at or below 680 nm. Okay, so this is we have to remember. Now come to question number 5. The membrane of a stroma lamellae lac PS2, PS1, NADP reductase, more than one option is correct. So here, I think you know the stroma lamellae. This is the question number 5. In the chloroplast, that's the double membrane, and here the grana, there are grana, this membranous system. In the membrane system of the chloroplast has the outer membrane, inner membrane, and there is inside there are membrane which is also known as they are in the form of a hollow tube. Okay, so they are usually called the thylakoid. Thylakoid. So this thylakoid membrane. So there is this is grana. Grana, and the soluble portion is a stroma, and there is the grana. Different grana are connected to each other, and this is known as, these membranes are known as a stroma lamellae. Okay, the photosynthetic pigments, they are organized in this membrane, the grana membrane, grana thylakoid, and stroma thylakoid. Okay, and these pigments, they are organized into a functional unit, sometimes we call quantazome also. Quantazome is the functional unit, that is organized unit of the photosynthetic pigments. Okay, where different photosynthetic pigments have nearly 100 or more photosynthetic pigments are there. So this photosystem 1, photosystem 2, they are present in this thylakoid. So this grana thylakoid contain PS1 and PS2. PS1, PS2 both are present in the grana thylakoid, but the stroma thylakoid, they contain only PS1. Okay, they contain only PS1. This stroma thylakoid, which contain not the PS2. So PS2 is absent in stroma thylakoid. PS2 is absent in stroma thylakoid. Okay. This, as the PS2 is absent, so what happens that the PS1 alone, it cannot take part in the non-cyclic photophosphorylation. Photophosphorylation. Photophosphorylation, that is the formation of the ATP. The ATP synthesis in the process is known as phosphorylation, and in the photosynthesis in the chloroplast, within the chloroplast, phosphorylations are two types. One is the non-cyclic, another one is cyclic. Okay, in the non-cyclic one, this PS1 and PS2 both, they are involved. Okay, and in this case, there is formation of ATP when they are present by the non-cyclic photophosphorylation. ATP and also NADPH2 is also synthesized in the non-cyclic photophosphorylation, because this contain in this non-cyclic photophosphorylation, this contain one compound called NADP reductase. This NADP reductase enzyme is necessary for the production of NADPH2. And with the stroma thylakoid, this NADP reductase is also not there. So two things are not there. One is NADP reductase, another one is that PS2. So here in the option, say in this PS2, A option is PS2, B is PS1, C is NADP reductase enzyme. Both are correct. PS1, PS2 and NADP reductase, both are absent. So that's why we have to write that more than one option is correct. So our answer will be D, more than one option is correct. What are those options? The options are A and C options are correct here. This those PS1 present in the stroma thylakoid. This PS1 is involved in cyclic photophosphorylation. Cyclic photophosphorylation. And in the process of cyclic photophosphorylation, only ATP is produced, not NADPH2. This one is required for that photosynthesis is a process which involves the lot of consumption of energy. And so ATP is required in plenty. And that is why this, along this PS1 and PS2 or non-cyclic photophosphorylation is not enough to meet the requirement of ATP production. And that's why PS1 alone is present in the stroma thylakoid, and here it only produces ATP molecules by cyclic photophosphorylation. Next one, question number 6. Which statement about the light reaction of photosynthesis is false? Here, in the light reaction of photosynthesis, it is answer is just we have discussed in the question number 5, is it? That question 6 and this option A is the false statement. Okay? Option A is that PS1 and PS2 are located in the stroma of the chloroplast. This is a stroma that is the liquid portion of the chloroplast, and in the stroma the dark reaction takes place. Okay, dark reaction takes place. So the PS1 and PS2, presence of PS1 and PS2 in the stroma, this is a wrong statement. So here simply our answer is option A. And all the three other statements, B, C, D, they are correct. Question number 7. Here is the question number 7. Which of the following statements incorrect about cyclic photophosphorylation? Photophosphorylation, that is two types, cyclic and non-cyclic. So about the cyclic, there incorrect statement. Which one? Only PS1 A. Only PS1 is involved. It occurs only when light wavelength beyond 680 nm is available for excitation. C. Only synthesis of ATP occurs. D. Synthesis of NADH2 occurs. So here in the question number 7, the statement D, that synthesis of NADH2 is synthesis of NADH2 occurs. This is the wrong statement. So incorrect statement is the D. Other statements are true. Say only in the cyclic in the cyclic photophosphorylation, already we have learned that only PS1 is involved. Only PS1 is involved. About the one statement that the B, it occurs when only light of wavelength beyond 680 nm is available. When greater than 680 nm is available, at that time this cyclic photophosphorylation takes place. Why? Because 680 nm and below is required for the PS2. Okay? And when PS2 less than 680 nm, when the light 680 or less is not available, then the PS2 will not function. Only the PS1 will function. And those PS1 which is present in the stromal lamellae, they will carry out the cyclic photophosphorylation. That is why the cyclic photophosphorylation takes place when wavelength beyond 680 nm is available. Up to 680 is not available. Beyond 680 is available. Question number 8. Kb osmotic synthesis of ATP. Proton diffuses through ATP synthetase from a stroma into the thylakoid lumen, from the thylakoid lumen into the stroma, from cytoplasm into the stroma, from the periplastidial space to a stroma. See, there is chemiosmotic synthesis of ATP. Okay, this chemiosmotic theory for the synthesis of ATP. This is well accepted by all the biochemists, physiologists of the world. So this is a well accepted theory for the synthesis of ATP, and this theory works, that is a proton gradient. Work on proton gradient. Proton gradient means proton, hydrogen ion gradient. Okay, so hydrogen ion is proton because it has only proton. All right, so this will work on the proton gradient. The proton moves from higher concentration towards the lower concentration, and these things happen within the chloroplast. This chemiosmotic synthesis of ATP also takes place in the mitochondria and also here in the chloroplast. In the chloroplast, say if this is a chloroplast, then there are thylakoid membrane. The thylakoid membrane, there are fat tubes, okay, and this flat tube, they have, this is the membrane wall. Membrane wall, or that is the thylakoid membrane, and this empty space in between, this is the lumen. All right, so a gradient is established between the lumen and the stroma. Okay, stroma is outside the grana. This gradient is established. How does it establish? This thing is established by two ways. That during the light reaction of the photosynthesis, there is photolysis of water, and due to the photolysis of water, that water is split and it provides the proton and electron. It provides the, when the water is splitted, this gives hydrogen ion, gives electron and oxygen. Okay, so this is the source that oxygen is produced, and electron moves through the electron carrier system, and the protons are accumulated here in the lumen. When the electron is passing through the electron carrier system of the light reaction, then also the proton from the stroma is transported to the lumen by a compound that is known as plastoquinone. This plastoquinone reversibly goes on oxidized and reduced, and it helps in the, say, plastoquinone is here, this plastoquinone pass the hydrogen ion into the lumen. So there is an accumulation of proton in the lumen of the thylakoid membrane. And during the ATP synthesis, what happens? This hydrogen ion, they move towards the stroma, but they cannot move automatically. There is channel, and this channel is the ATPase synthetase. ATPase synthetase or the ATPase enzyme. Okay, so through this ATPase, it moves from the lumen to the stroma, and when it moves, that the energy is released, that energy is utilized for the synthesis of ATP. From ADP plus inorganic phosphate, it gives ATP. Okay, the energy is required, and the ATPase, which is present in the thylakoid membrane, it helps. This is a catalyst channel for the movement of proton, and it is moving from lumen to the chemiosmotic synthesis of ATP H2P diffused through ATPase synthesis from the answer will be B, from thylakoid lumen to a stroma. This is what happened. Now come to the question number 9. Question number 9 is related to the Calvin cycle. Okay, Calvin cycle, or it is C3 cycle of dark reaction. Say, in the photosynthesis, there are two phases. One is the light phase or the light reaction, and it is followed by the dark phase or dark reaction. That is the dark reaction. In the light reaction, in the light phase, in the light reaction, light energy is absorbed, and that is utilized for the production of ATP plus NADPH2. This, in the dark phase, this carbon dioxide is reduced to carbohydrates. Okay, is reduced to carbohydrate, and in this process, the ATP and NADPH2, which is produced in the light reaction, this one is used here. Okay, so product of the light reaction is utilized. There is the dark reaction for the reduction of carbon dioxide, but this one takes place actually when, where it is utilized. This is, I think, in the Calvin cycle. You remember that RUBP, ribulose biphosphate, that accept the carbon dioxide to form 3-PGA, phosphoglyceric acid. That is the two molecule of 3-PGA, is formed, and 3-PGA, 3 molecule of 3 PGA, 3 molecule of 3 PGA, 3 molecule of 3 PGA is formed, 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 3 molecule of 3 PGA in presence of enzyme Rubisco. Okay, and then this next step is this reduction of the PGA, phosphoglyceric acid, is converted into aldehyde, that is the PGAL, and during this process, this PGA to PGAL, this ATP plus NADPH2 is utilized to form PGAL, and from here then from the PGAL glucose, sucrose, etc. is produced. Hexose sugar is from here, the hexose sugar is produced, hexose sugar to that sugar, sucrose, and ultimately it is changed into a starch. So this is here that the ATP and NADPH2 is used in the conversion of PGA to PGAL. Okay, and here triose phosphate dehydrogenase, triose phosphate this is a very, very important step. This few steps, that what is the acceptor molecule from the carbon dioxide, that is RUBP, and what is the enzyme involved, Rubisco, what is the first stable compound, that is 3-PGA, that is important. So the enzyme, the first the substrate that absorb carbon dioxide, is concerned enzyme and the product. And next step, it is that the formation of the triose phosphate dehydrogenase to PGAL formation. So here this word is used. So our answer in this is option B, that is PGA to PGAL. This is phosphoglyceric acid, and this word is phosphoglyceraldehyde. In the Calvin cycle, one more step that is important is during the formation of RUBP, that first it is produced that RUMP. RUBP is produced from RUMP. This is the monophosphate. Monophosphate change into bisphosphate or biphosphate. And here also the ATP is consumed. Okay. ATP plus inorganic phosphate. So here also ATP consumption is there. That's why this step is very important, because RUBP is the acceptor of the carbon dioxide. So RUBP in the process must be regenerated. So in the regeneration process, this ATP molecule is also consumed. Actually, that phosphoglyceraldehyde which is produced, some molecule of phosphoglyceraldehyde is involved in the production of hexose sugar, glucose, fructose, and some of the molecules, they are utilized for the regeneration of RUBP. Okay, come to the next step. Next step is question number 11. this one, that this question was question number 10, okay? It was question number 10, that's the solution I have given. Okay, so today, after here, the rest of the question, you can try to solve it. And if there is any problem, we can discuss it in the next class. You can ask. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.